All right, let's get right into it. For the last few years, we've all been cheering for the freedom of remote work, right? We thought it was creating this perfect meritocracy. But there's a hidden force that's quietly reshaping careers, and it might be holding you back without you even knowing it.
Wow, that's a pretty bold statement. Now, it doesn't mean remote work is just gone. But what it does mean is that the first kind of idealistic honeymoon phase, yeah, that's over. The whole promise of a level playing field is suddenly being put to the test.
So, while we were all busy focusing on flexibility and, let's be honest, escaping the commute, a much older force was creeping back in. And that force is our own basic human psychology. Turns out, that's the thing that's actually deciding who gets the promotion, who gets put on the cool project, and who gets the bigger paycheck.
And that really is the crucial question, isn't it? In this new hybrid world, your success isn't just about how good your work is anymore. It's about whether that good work is actually seen. And if you're not physically in the office, you might be slowly becoming invisible.
So what is this invisible force we're talking about? Well, it's not a failure of technology, and it's not that remote work itself is a bad idea. No, the trap is being sprung by our own brains, by a little cognitive shortcut that's basically hardwired into every single one of us. And there it is, proximity bias. Look, it's not malicious. Your boss probably isn't sitting there thinking, I'm going to totally ignore the remote team today. It's an unconscious shortcut. Our brains just naturally think that people and things we can physically see and talk to are more important. It's the classic case of out of sight, out of mind.
And what happens because of this? Well, proximity bias accidentally creates two classes of employees. You've got the A team, the folks in the office who get those random hallway chats that somehow turn into career-making projects. And then you have the B team. They're just as talented, but they're just not there when those lucky, spontaneous moments happen. And over time, all those little missed moments add up to a huge career gap.
Now, this isn't just a hunch or a feeling people have. The numbers are starting to paint a really clear and, frankly, pretty alarming picture of this divide. So let's take a look at the hard evidence. So get this. A study from the Society for Human Resource Management found that a whopping 2/3 of managers admit they see remote workers as more easily replaceable. That's a huge trust issue. It's that subconscious bias at work again. If they don't see you, they feel less connected to what you do, and you start to seem, well, disposable.
And here is where it really hits your career and the wallet. An analysis found that employees who go into the office at least 3 days a week are getting promoted at nearly twice the rate of their fully remote coworkers. Let that sink in. Twice the rate. That is a massive, tangible disadvantage.
Okay, so the problem is clear, and the data is not great. But this doesn't mean you're powerless here. The solution isn't to just give up on remote work. It's to get more strategic about it. So let's talk about how to actually fight back.
For you as an employee, the game is now make your invisible work visible. First, your digital trail, all those documents, Slack updates, shared progress reports, that is your new physical presence. Make it impossible for them to ignore you. Second, when you do go into the office, be intentional, be strategic. Don't just go in to answer emails. Schedule those key one-on-ones. And finally, you got to be your own PR agent now. Share your wins in public channels. It's not bragging, it's broadcasting your value.
And for any managers or leaders listening, the real responsibility is on you to fix the system, not just the symptoms. Stop letting the best projects get handed out in some random hallway chat. Formalize the process so everyone has a shot. And start measuring what actually matters, the results, the output, not who looks the busiest. And most importantly, you have to train your managers to see this bias and actively fight against it.
This is the perfect way to think about it. Proximity bias really is like a silent river current. If you just sort of float along, it's going to pull your career in a direction you might not want to go, slowly but surely drifting you away from the big opportunities.
So the big question for you is, now that you can actually see the current, what's your plan? Success in this new era isn't just about working hard anymore. It's about working smart and making sure that your work is seen, heard, and valued, no matter where your desk happens to be.